Welcome to Around the ECHL. We go around the league every Tuesday, and we're joined by the great voice of your Tulsa Oilers, my buddy Zack Renyolds. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me on, and I'm excited to do another one of these.
It's great to have you on. Boy, what a fun series. It's crazy. If somebody would have told me starting the third period that we would come back and win that game on Friday night in Tulsa, I would have said no. And also wouldn't have bet that we would blow the game on Saturday night in Allen. So both ends of the spectrum there. But, I'll say one thing about the Oilers. And every time we play you guys, it's going to be a battle. There's no blowouts. It's always a tight game. I love and respect, Murph for what he does. I think he's a great coach. I just wish we could meet in the playoffs here.
Yeah. That would be fantastic for sure. Still trying to chip away. I mean, we have a big series this weekend playing Utah 3 times. And, we're undefeated against them at home this season. Coming in, we've got, 7-0 against them so far at home. And the last game got pretty spirited. A few suspensions handed out when everything was all said and done. 5 goals in a 6-minute span. So it was a really exciting game last time we played, and I don't know, maybe it can be a catalyst to get that late playoff push.
Yeah, if you look at the top 3 teams, Fort Wayne, Wichita, Allen, I can't see us dropping down.
No.
And I think it's going to be a hell of a battle down the stretch. Rapid City got hot for a while, then all of a sudden, guess what? They get swept 4 games by Utah, and their fate changed, at least for now. Kansas City went on a run, about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
They won 6 games. They come into our building. It just swept 4 games in a row. So it's crazy how things can change in just a matter of time. But it should be fun down the stretch. It really should be, because I think nothing is set with 4 on down.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting with the winning percentage this year, the swing and the head-to-head games that come by, because, the other team's percentage goes down, yours goes up. I mean, it's the same, I guess it's just more of a visualized explanation of the 4-point swing in a game when you see it actually drop off, of your standings. But those 3 teams, it's been an interesting year for us. We haven't played Fort Wayne, obviously, and most of the conference hasn't. And then we look at Wichita. We have a great record against Wichita. I mean, unbelievable record against Wichita, but still find ourselves on the outside looking in. I'm sure I'm sure they would maybe be a bit worried if they had the top spot and we had the 4th. Maybe not worried, but they probably hoping it was somebody else that would slide into the 4th spot just because we've had their number all year. But it's been like that all season. I think a lot of teams, the teams 4 through 7 right now, have all just been very streaky at times. Either winning 8, losing 6, whatever it is. It seems like every team has had their streaks, and Utah's probably the team that's kind of middled out the most with it. And I'm sure that's why they're sitting in that 4th spot.
It was funny. A fan said to me the other day, "Oh man, I hope we don't play Fort Wayne because they would have the advantage. We haven't seen them." I said, "Well, they haven't seen us either."
Yeah.
So I mean, it's half dozen to one. And I think it's going to come down to who's the most healthy at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
This year's been so crazy, as we've never had this many goaltenders play for us in one season. I know you guys, and look at Hayden Hockey. Obviously, nobody likes to be traded, right? But that was the best scenario for him.
Yeah.
He's playing out right now. He's not playing. He's, behind Kappelmaster or Patterson or one of our goaltenders or Murat. But you know what? He comes to Tulsa at just the right time. He played very well against us. I thought, minus the one stretch in the third period on Friday where things came a bit unraveled, man, he was really good all weekend.
I mean, he was lights out for us the week before as well. And I think it kind of took a little bit of time for him to get comfortable again because, he's with Kansas City last year. He actually made his pro debut against us at the VOK Center last season. Came in, wasn't able to pick up the win, and sat with Kansas City all year when the 2 affiliated goaltenders played every game essentially. So he wasn't getting to play, and then goes to Wheeling this year after going to Greenville to start, and heads to Wheeling. We play him there in Wheeling, which was interesting. And then we saw him as a backup with you guys before he came here, and Devin Williams, I think, has started 12 straight games before he came in, just because Roman Durney was down, and we had been juggling trying to find a third goaltender that could win games for us, and we couldn't find one. And then Hayden came in, had a bit of a struggle the first week, but then we found out later on he had a bit of an injury, and he's playing through it. And after that, the next week, he made a career high 38 saves for us. Shut out Utah in a game that was really intense, start to finish. I mean, some of the guys that they have as scorers, not easy task to shut them down. And then especially at certain stretches of time this weekend against you guys, I thought he played fantastic. He made a lot of acrobatic saves at times. And, I don't think he ever gets too down on himself if he lets one in. And I think that's a big advantage for him. And he's been big for us down the stretch here. I mean, 8 straight starts, and I'd imagine that he gets some more here this weekend.
This is Zack Renyolds, the voice of the Tulsa Oilers on Around the ECHL, brought to you by True by Hilton. Are you surprised at this last Sunday's game how few penalties were called? Usually the fourth game of a series, two teams that know a lot about each other and not a whole lot of love lost between the two teams. Are you surprised that, each of us had one power play?
A little bit. I mean, I missed parts of the game with the flow going on, but
don't get me started.
I got to watch most of it though. And it does kind of surprise me. I know that discipline is a big emphasis right now for our team. As of late, we found ourselves in the box, not even too often, just at the wrong times, it seems. And so I think it's been really stressed. What really kind of didn't surprise me, because, on the last game of a week, you see it a lot. But I mean, the amount of icings, especially at the beginning of the game, I mean, you could just tell guys were gassed, that pucks were being flung down. I think we had like 7 icings in the first 2 minutes or something. So I was a little surprised that there wasn't a ton of power play time for either team. With how your power play is, that's probably the way we'd probably want to play it, with a guy like Les Lancaster out there just wreaking havoc. But I even this week I was talking in our pregame interview with Murr, and he said he thinks Les Lancaster is the best defenseman in the ECHL for his money. He doesn't think there's anybody else that could take that title. And I've never heard him say that about a player, that they're just flat out the best at his position. So that should show exactly what he's able to do. And he did it really well against us on the power play, that's for sure.
Well, if you look at that goal, him and Mackin, that was such a pretty play. Mackin is great with or without the puck. He always seems to find it. And that play that he made to Lancaster yesterday was just amazing, or on Sunday, I should say, is amazing.
Yeah, and we take a look at that too with Mackin. I mean, you guys lose him back to Reading at the end of the year. We have Garrett Cockrell, who's been great for us, that we lose back to Reading at the end of the year. So it's kind of interesting to see them play against each other, like a top forward and one of the top defensemen on our team going at it. But I mean, I said it on our broadcast on Saturday. So many games last week, it's hard to remember which day was which. But the overtime goal, I mean, I guess that would have been Friday, actually, not Saturday. The overtime goal that he scored, I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, my broadcast partner, Luke, he nailed it on the head. There's a goal Evgeny Malkin scored back in the day when the NHL was back on Versus, that was almost identical, bar down, backhand, and there's just no way Hayden could have stopped it. And I think that's when we really started to see on the week how talented Mackin really is.
So it's funny, our game Saturday night, I was expecting a rough one, only because, I don't know if you heard, but our bus broke down on the way back. First of all, it's an 8-hour trip if you're doing it daily, and we do that.
Right.
We travel day of game. But the team didn't get back till 8 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, how in the world, after playing 3 and 4, are these guys going to be able to play a game tonight? They got out there, actually got off to a pretty good start, but you could tell by the third period they were starting to get tired. And so as I said in the air, I don't like to make excuses for our players, but if there was ever a time that I knew they were tired, it was in that third period on Saturday.
You could tell to an extent. And usually on the week, the Friday games, what's really good for us. I mean, we've only lost in regulation 4 times on Friday, and we play pretty much every Friday. And so, we obviously started off strong there, and then Saturday came and it was just a flip-flop reversal. And you could definitely tell that there was some tired legs out there. And like I said, the beginning of the Sunday game too, you could tell that the guys were tired. But I think that, the Allen team just does such a good job of feeding off of momentum. And, you can kind of see it on the bench at times. Things still stay pretty calm, but I look back to that goal on the Friday, and you see Chad Butcher score that goal, and the momentum of the game entirely shifted. And I feel like that kind of happened as well with you guys there on the Saturday. It didn't work out that way, but back on the Sunday, just get some momentum. They're dangerous.
One thing I love about the Oilers, and is I'm an old school hockey guy. I love like the way Craig Ludwig and Richard Matsuchuk used to play the game for Dallas, blocking shots. You guys block a lot of shots. I saw McKee in a stretch of about 5 minutes the other night block 3 shots. And, fans are wondering, why in the world are we getting outshot, 47-32 or whatever? And it's because we had the attempts. They just weren't getting through. You guys block a ton of shots.
And something we've talked about that almost weekly on our coaches show with Murr, and he says the same thing every time. Everybody has the capability to block shots. Every single player can block a shot. It's whether you make the choice on to whether to do it or not. And with Murr, the choice is pretty easy. It's either block the shots or don't play. So I think it really helps us too that we have skill guys that like to block shots and that are good at, like Charlie St. Pierre. He's great at blocking shots. He likes doing it because it can spring him on the breakaway the other way. And, he's got all the speed in the world. And you see guys dropping down all the time. We have a guy, Stephen Beauvais, that hasn't played here as of late, but I don't think I've seen anybody as long as I've been here, maybe outside of Nathan Lutz, that blocks as many shots as he does.
Adam Plaskach. Before this guy retires, I want to interview him one time because I think back to the Central Hockey League and, a couple of power forwards, and there's a few, but the two that really stand out to me, Andrew Courtney with the Mavericks and Adam Plaskach with you guys. Two players that I've always loved their style, and especially because Plaskach reminds me a lot of Asachuk. He is so good in front of the net. That's his office, 4 or 5 feet in front. He always seems to make something happen there. If you were describing what type of guy he is, what type of hockey player he is, give me the skinny on Adam Plaskach. What kind of guy is he? And tell me about your perception of his game.
That's a great comparison with Asachuk as well. We made that on the coaches show last week, but coming into the series, Murr and I both talked about how they're very similar players. And I've said a couple of times on our broadcast that when it comes to Adam Plaskach, there's no such thing as a 50-50 puck. Because he's going to get it. He's not going to be outworked by anybody on the ice ever. And I think that's what endears him to the fans here. And he's a skilled player. He's not the world's fastest skater. He'll admit that, but he's a strong skater. And he's just always thinking about how to get the puck to the net. He leads the league in shots every single year. And he's always thinking about getting the puck to the net. He's always thinking about sacrificing, I got to get in the screen. I got to get to the dirty areas. He knows what it takes to score goals. And, you have to take shots to score goals. You have to go to the front of the net to score goals. And overall, he's kind of the consummate captain. We had a game against Rapid City a couple weeks ago. It was getting out of hand. They got up on us quick. It was a similar game the day before to the game on Friday where we had given up a lead late in the third. And he threw down with a player and he wasn't going to take no for an answer. He's our leading goal scorer and he's out there chucking the fists, basically gave a challenge to the bench to get going. And that's just the type of guy he is. He is dedicated start to finish. And he's great for the community as well. Always willing to do an interview, always willing to go out to an event. He's the consummate captain. And, I'll be, if for whatever reason his number isn't retired in the rafters, I'll get into a physical altercation over it. So
I don't think you have to worry about that.
Yeah,
I think it'll happen someday. And I love that guy's player, I really do. I enjoy watching him play. I've never talked to him before, but I've seen, he and Gary Steffes take a knee together at center ice. I just respect him so much for the way he plays the game. And I love Courtney too. And he's a good friend. When he had his baby, his first baby, he sent me a picture right away. And I actually got to know him at the All-Star game in Arizona back in the day. And said there's a few guys that I really, kind of takes me back to the days of the Central Hockey League. And he's one of them, because Asachuk, Paskach, and Alex Lavoie were the 3 finalists for Rookie of the Year that year. And anyway, just got a ton of respect for that guy, and always love watching him play, and love visiting with you too when I come to Tulsa. Unfortunately, this year has kind of taken a toll on that, but you did make one trip to Allen, and I did make a trip up to Tulsa, so it was good to catch up. But keep doing what you're doing, buddy. You do a great job, and one of the nicest guys in this league. And good things happen to good people. So just keep working at it.
Well, thank you. That means a lot, and good things happen to good people, and obviously you're a good person as well, and you've helped me quite a bit. I definitely had some questions at the beginning of last year, starting off, and you and Malzy always helping me out with that. So I just want to thank you for that as well.
That Malzy, he's a great guy. He would give you the shirt off of his back, and you know what? One of these days we'll get together again, maybe in Vegas coming up in August. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fantastic.
All right, Zach. Well, hey, thanks for doing this, buddy. Zack Renyolds, the voice of the Tulsa Oilers, and good luck down the stretch.
Thank you, and good luck if we don't see you guys in the playoffs.
All right, Zack Renyolds. Talk to you soon.